Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video I am finally sitting down and giving you guys the well-deserved life update. I went bloody missing. I didn't mean to go missing. A lot of stuff has been happening. Life has just been honestly piling on top of me. Couldn't breathe. Every which way you can imagine. And I was just like Kung Fu, Panda, Jackie Chan trying to get it up out of here, and it wasn't working. Every couple of hits I would get in, I would take another 10. I feel kind of overwhelmed just filming this. I feel like a deer in the headlights because there's so much to talk about, and it's like so much that I just need to blurt it all out in one go. So I'm gonna try as hard as I can to articulate how I feel. Hopefully you guys like this one. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell button down below so you guys don't miss any of my notifications. Check out my Instagram, it's just kaseyrayton. Same as my YouTube, and we're gonna jump in. So where do I start? I don't know where to start right now. There is some guy right at his window. First line of business is my mental health. Oh, took a big hit this year. I was thinking about like 2017 Kasey when I first moved to Sydney. Oh my god, I was too big for my boots. I thought I was the shit. I was thinking about it the other day because I was wearing this pair of like kind of beachy sort of pants, and I remember I wore them to an event with a crop top, like a crop top bra, like it was a bikini top. I think I was honestly just the most confident in my body when I was like at that stage in my life, and now I am like, my body confidence has plummeted. I'm getting better because like I don't edit my Instagram photos, like I don't edit my body in my Instagram photos. I still facetune my face. I want the makeup to look snatched, but I just don't reshape my body. I still do like a little bit of skin smoothing, but I don't reshape anything because I want to look at my Instagram photos and see my body for how it is, and that is honestly so amazing because anytime I look at a photo and I'm like, wow, I look really good, I'm like, that is my body. Like that is exactly what I look like. I should be proud, I should love myself, rather than looking at the photos and being like, oh, like I reshaped that so I don't even know what I look like. I'm actually not going to mention everything that I'm using. I'm just going to pop it in the description box for you guys because I feel like I'm going to get off topic too much and I'm kind of doing too many things at once because I want to feature all this stuff in an Instagram video. If you guys want the actual like product info, description box, or just head to my Instagram and you guys will see everything really in depth. I just feel like I was like mega confident like 2 years ago, and then I kind of had some stuff happen just like in my relationship and just like life sort of stuff happened last year where it just kind of caused me to like question what type of person I was. I feel like it's really stuck with me. I feel like it humbled me quite a lot, I think. Like I stopped being friends with a certain person who did YouTube as well, that I just realized like my values didn't really align with theirs, and the way that they kind of conducted their life and like held themselves was kind of rubbing off on me a little bit, and I didn't like that aspect of myself. Do you guys know I struggle with anxiety? One thing I haven't really talked about too much is struggling with depression. Like I feel like I've probably mentioned it, but I didn't even realize that I was struggling with it myself that much until this year. Like I was kind of in denial about it. I always sort of saw depression as like being suicidal, and I don't have the kind of depression where I'm suicidal. I'm so scared of death. I'm terrified of anything medical. I have phobias. I think a lot of people relate depression to being suicidal. So like if you don't have like much information about it, I feel like you think like, oh, well, I'm not suicidal, I don't have depression. That's kind of what I always thought. Like I was like, no, I'm not depressed. Like if I was depressed, I would feel like this. Like I had certain ideas of what I thought depression looked like because of what it looked like for other people. And that's why I think it's so important for everyone to be vocal about how they're feeling and what their mental illnesses look like for them, because it could be so different for everyone. And I feel like just hearing like other people's perspectives and what it looks like for them can really help you kind of understand what you're feeling for yourself. And I honestly think that my depression stems from my anxiety, like my inability to face things head on, and just the way that I cope with it. Like the way that I cope with anxiety is I avoid things. I just won't do them. Like I haven't done my tax yet. Oh, and it's stressing me out, but what do? I ignore things because I don't want to deal with it. This year I kind of realized that I was in denial, and I feel like I woke up and I was like, Holy balls, I am actually really, really depressed. This is wonderful. Sometimes it's like denial can be really great. I feel like 2 years ago where I was in denial and I was like, yeah, I'm such a hot bitch and like just loving life. I still had the same issues then, but everything was kind of sugar coated and just like suppressed and pushed right to the bottom and covered up with like YouTube and like all the glitz and the glam of everything. Now they've kind of like mellowed out and I'm like in that stage of life where I want to settle down and, you know, potentially get married and all that sort of stuff. I feel like it's kind of hit me, like it's gotten to the stage where I want to work on myself and really better myself as a person and a human being. And yeah, I was like, oh, whoa. You guys are all just floating up to the surface. Woo! Didn't expect this. I just got to the stage where I just didn't want to do anything. I would just sit around. Like I just was finding it really hard to get myself to do small tasks. Like even make myself food, go to the gym, go for a walk to get a coffee. Like those were such hard tasks for me to complete. When I'm with someone, it's fine. I'm like, yeah, let's run errands. This is the best shit in the world. When I have to do that stuff by myself, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I just didn't have any motivation. And I guess that's like what depression looks like for me, is I'm just like really like, meh, whatever. I don't really care. I'm not in bed crying constantly. I can go out and do things, but I'm just like not really excited by anything. I'm just kind of flatlined. I've been seeing my psychologist I've had like 3 sessions with her now. I don't go super often because I don't feel like I need to go very often. And the way that I started seeing her was like, because Hamish and I were looking to get into couples counselling, just to like kind of help with the way that we like communicate with each other. And we're just really bad arguers. We've been really great recently with communicating, but in the past we've had really bad issues with just like being so stuck on like who's right and who's wrong. I started seeing her because she wanted to have some sessions with me before she had them with the both of us, just so she could kind of get a backstory on me and my life, because she was Hamish's psychologist as well. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. I feel like I'm all over the place right now. We still haven't started going together because it turns out that by me working on myself and kind of like communicating with Hamish what I need and what I feel like we're both just able to like, I don't know, communication's just been good between the two of us, so we just haven't really found it necessary to go and see her just yet. But I think eventually like we will. It kind of started like me talking about like my relationship and all that sort of stuff, and then it's kind of slowly segued into like my issues, anxiety, all that sort of stuff. She's just kind of backed up thoughts that I already had about, because I'm very self-aware. I always knew that I had anxiety. I was kind of like, I think there's a bit of depression there. But sometimes until you hear it from like a professional, you don't take it as seriously. And you feel kind of silly. Like I always felt like I was just looking for an excuse for why I am the way that I am. You're always like, I'm fine. And it's always like putting on a brave face when like it's okay to not be okay and to admit that. And it doesn't make you silly. It doesn't mean that you're making excuses for how you are or anything. It's like, you're actually like, you're not okay. Like you need to come to terms with that, and the only way that you can improve your life and like fix the issue at hand is to admit that you do need help. And so just by seeing her, I've kind of been able to admit that I just needed a little bit of extra help with things. I have started medication for depression and anxiety, which is not something I thought I would ever say. I used to be really scared of doing it. I was always very intrigued. I just went to the doctor and I just said, look, like I'm thinking about going on antidepressants. I just don't feel like I can cope anymore. I have no motivation. I can't be fucked to do anything. Like I just don't want to do anything. Like I just cannot be bothered. And it had just gotten to the point where it was affecting my videos, my work, absolutely everything, like my fitness, my health. And yeah, I just felt like everything was on top of me. I just felt like I couldn't function. And I think that's when you know that you have a mental illness. Everyone has feelings of depression, everyone has feelings of anxiety, but it's when those feelings start to affect your everyday life and you're not able to cope in everyday situations on the daily because of those feelings. It's like when they're impacting you consistently every single day and you just can't function because of it. So that was me. It's actually been quite a while since I started my antidepressants. In my last 2 videos that I mentioned to you guys, I remember I said that I was on antibiotics and I was heavily medicated at the time. That was actually filmed the week, maybe the second week after I'd started taking my antidepressants, and I'll get into it, but I had to take antibiotics for something else. And so I was just fully medicated at the time. It was a whirlwind of emotions. When you first start taking them, you have to, like I started on a half dose and now I take a full dose. So I would have to break my little tablet in half and have half of that, because for the first few days, they can give you kind of side effects. So some people get headaches, they get nausea, and like the antibiotics that I was on as well, they can make you nauseous too. So I was just like nauseous constantly. There's some other side effects too, like you can have really broken sleep. Like some people just like cannot sleep on them. For me, the side effects that I had was I had like body tingling. Like I felt like I was like this. I was just like super jittery, because I went from like being like so like meh to being like woo. The way that the antidepressants work is that they stop your body from uptaking too much serotonin. So serotonin is the chemical that makes you happy, and basically when you're depressed, your body is just taking too much serotonin. So all the antidepressants do is they just stop your body from being able to take too much of it. So they don't add any more to your body, they just stop your body from overusing it. It's actually really interesting how it works. The doctor was explaining it to me and I just thought it was really cool. Like for the first few days, my body was a bit jittery, and then by like the 4th, 5th day, I didn't even notice it anymore. I did feel a little bit not myself for the first week or so. The one thing that I've noticed the most by starting these is that I find that I'm lost for words more than I used to be. You're a little bit like, not slower, but like just like your thought to mouth speaking process is just like not as quick, I've found. And I did find that with someone else close to me who's taking antidepressants as well. And especially in situations where it makes me a little bit more anxious. I just find that I don't get the feelings of anxiety anymore. Like, you know, when your body gets like that really big like rush of like you get like that really warm, tight feeling in your chest of like just anxious. I don't find myself getting that. Like, I honestly haven't had that since I've started them. I just find that when I feel anxious, I just find myself kind of lost for words. In those situations where I am feeling anxious, I just don't get the physical feelings of anxiety. I know in my head that I'm anxious, and I'll like, my palms will get a little bit sweaty, but I just don't get like the hyperdrive that you kind of go into, which has been really, really good. I haven't even really thought about it too much. The first couple of weeks I was really noticing like the difference, but I feel like now my body's really starting to settle and get used to it. And I honestly like, I forget that I'm even on them, apart from every morning when I have to take my pills. That's kind of like the heavy stuff out of the way. It was like what I was dreading the most saying on camera. Not because I'm embarrassed, because I'm not. I'm literally so open with anyone. Like if you ask me a question, I'll literally just tell you what I think. When it comes to like me, like opening up to family members and things like that, I am so not that person. So my mom is probably gonna watch this video and be like, wait, what? This bitch is on antidepressants and she didn't tell me? No, I didn't, Mom. I'll probably tell you, but I just don't know how to say it. It's not something that you just like blurt out, and my family aren't the type of family that like talk about like mental health and like just like feelings. We're not a feelings kind of family. I guess I just keep things really private from my family. I kind of always have. When Hamish and I were in high school and when I was living at home, we would have really, really big fights, like crazy big fights. They were so toxic. We were terrible for each other. We were so bad back then, just two dramatic teenagers. Like we broke up for a month and then we got back together, and my family kind of like hated him. I don't really remember much because this was like 10 years ago, but I just remember like having to like try and get them to like him again because we were going out again. And ever since then I was just like, oh, this is just like too much stress, and I just don't want to get like my family involved in my drama unnecessarily, because it's just, they just don't need to be. In general, I'm not the type of person to cry in front of other people other than Hamish. Like I'm just a really private person when it comes to like emotional stuff. I'm not good at being emotional with other people. I kind of play things off and play everything down as like a joke. I guess it's just like a putting on like a brave face kind of thing. So I've always kind of been that way. And I also just kind of wanted to give myself time to like settle into taking them. And just see how everything went before I told my family, I guess, because I knew that they would probably have like questions, or they would probably just be like, why? Like they wouldn't know because they don't have the backstory. Like everything that I go through, I keep very, very private from my family. I don't know, I just don't want to like put my struggles onto them. I worry about them so much. You guys have no idea. Like every single day I'm constantly thinking about my family, just hoping that they're happy. And like my little sister Abby's in school, and I just always think like, oh my God, like I swear to God, if kids are mean to her, I will like beat the shit out of them. Like I just want the best for them so much. So I don't want to put unnecessary stress onto them that they just don't need. And to be honest, like I'm not struggling that much where I need to confide in a whole bunch of people. I will touch on this in like more videos. If you guys want like more mental health related stuff, can totally do it, because it is something that I'm passionate about and something that I do think needs to be like talked about more openly and honestly. And I'm always so open to talk to you guys about that. So just let me know in the comments down below, especially any topics that you want me to cover or anything like that, and I can totally do so. So another thing that happened while I was starting my antidepressants was I got an ear infection, which was just amazing. I very briefly had a piercing right here. It's not there now because I had to take it out. My ear went crazy. So basically I got this done at an event. I had a little piercing bar there and I was like, hell yeah, free piercings. I love getting ear piercings. And I went up, signed my form. I was going to get like a cartilage one, but they only had guns, and so they were only doing lobes. And I was like, oh, okay, like don't worry about it, because I don't think I have any space to get any more on my lobes. And she was like, oh, I can do it just on like your lobe right in the gap. But the thing is, that's fucking cartilage. I didn't realize that. Like, I think she, like her idea was to clamp and go through the very small bit of lobe that's there. I honestly just thought like, she's a piercer, she's qualified, like she should know, like she'll tell me if anything's wrong. I just didn't think that I would know anything more than her, and I obviously fucking didn't. I let her do it, and when she did it, I was like, ooh, ow, that really fucking hurt. I swear she went through my cartilage, man. It just didn't feel like a lobe piercing. I'm really good with pain, with piercings, tattoos. Like, I just kind of sit there and I'm like, oh, yep, that hurts, but it's not like, I'm not like, oh my God, like I need to get up. This was like so sharp and it just felt wrong. Like it didn't feel like a piercing should feel. So I really think that the gun went through my cartilage. Like I could be wrong, but I really feel like it did. It was really, really sore, really red, and kind of a bit swollen, but it was healing. And then I think I slept on it wrong one night or a couple nights in a row, and then the next day it was just like really swollen, and I was like, and it had probably been like a week since having the piercing done. It just got to the point where it was so swollen. Like Hamish came home, he looked at it and he was like, you need to take that piercing out. And I was like, I can't get it out. I've been trying to get my fingers around it, but because I have nails, I couldn't pull. And so I got Hamish to like lock onto it, and he was able to pull the two sides apart. I had to keep taking ibuprofen to get the inflammation to go down because it was just so painful, the throbbing. As soon as we took out the piercing, it was like instant relief. There was all this pus coming out. It was like, it was bad, guys. I shared about it on Instagram saying like, because I'd been sharing about the days before or whatever, and that I'd taken it out. Everyone was like pretty nice about it. They were just like, oh my God, no, you shouldn't take the piercing out. You never do that. But one girl was like, it's piercing 101. You should never take the piercing out. And she was like really aggressive and like rude about it. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. Like Hamish is a doctor, he's keeping an eye on it. So like, I'm all good. I just like went and got antibiotics from the doctor. Like I was really polite. Like I left a smiley face and stuff, even though she was rude to me. I wrote back to her so nicely because I was like, oh, we're just having a chat. Like she's just a follower. Like we're just talking. I talked to her like I would talk to anyone. And then she wrote back and she was like, didn't he just graduate like last week? Lol. And I was like, whoa. She just went in on my man. Like she was so savage. And like, yeah, it's hilarious because like he did just graduate. When I told Hamish, he was cracking up laughing because he thought it was so savage and so funny. But he's still a doctor. Like he's working as a doctor right now. Hamish is on placement treating kids at the moment. He's doing his pediatric placement. He's a doctor. Like there's nothing else that he's going to learn in the next couple months that's going to make him more of a doctor than he is right now. He's already done 7 years of study. He's finished studying. This is his last block until he starts working in January. So like he already has a contract, but because he hasn't actually started working yet, this girl's like, well, he's not actually a doctor. Show some motherfucking respect to my man. Hamish already knew what the doctor would say. He said everything to me that the doctor said, which I only went to go and see so I could get a proper prescription for antibiotics, because Hamish can't give me a prescription. They had to do a test, so they had to get a swab of the pus from the back of my ear after I'd taken the piercing out. It turned out to be staph, the infection, and it was sensitive to everything. So the antibiotics that they gave me knocked out the bacteria straight away and everything was good. Because they didn't initially know what the bacteria was before we got the test results back, the guy just gave me just a really broad spectrum antibiotic that would kind of cover all bases, and then if it happened to come back that it wasn't sensitive to the antibiotic, I would have had to take another one. Because the antibiotic was a broad spectrum one, it was really strong and it made me so nauseous. Oh my god. I was so out of it. I was so drowsy. Like, you're not allowed to drive when you take this antibiotic. So I started taking the antidepressants like a week before, and then I think like a couple days in, I had to get the antibiotics because my ear got infected. So it was just like so much was just going on and so much was like running through my head at the time. And I just really didn't want to have to deal with taking antibiotics while starting antidepressants, because I couldn't really tell like where the side effects were coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, do I feel nauseous because of the antidepressants, or do I feel nauseous because of the antibiotics? And I just like couldn't really get any work done because I was just feeling so sick. Like, I had to push back some sponsorships. So that's why you guys saw like 2 sponsored videos in a row, because I couldn't film because I was just feeling so sick for like a week. It was just a rough time having like 2 medications at once, and I just had so much to think about. Like, I had my ear that I was worried about, I had like side effects I was worried about. I guess moving on to like some lighter topics now that we've got like the heavy stuff out of the way, I kind of just wanted to like get all of that stuff out first, because that was kind of like the main bulk of like where I've been and why I haven't really been like posting and uploading as much as I would like to. So recently I cut my hair and I went a lot blonder, as you guys can see. I mean, I've got it in a ponytail now, but you guys would have seen in my Princess Polly haul that I did, my hair is very, very short now. I did film a like hair transformation video. I just honestly, like, I had all that stuff going on as well, and I just forgot to film the outro part of it. So I just need to sit down and edit it and film an outro for it. The hair transformation is coming because I really like watching those kinds of videos, so even if it doesn't get good views or anything, hopefully you guys just enjoy watching it. I needed to cut my hair off. It was so dead from having extensions in. So you guys know I had tape-in extensions for the longest time ever. They were like tearing my hair out, I swear. And because every time that I went in, I wanted them to look as natural as possible, and so I would get them like a bit longer than my hair, but I would get them to like really cut them into my hair and like thin them out so they looked really natural and they didn't really look like extensions. Because we were like constantly like thinning them out into my hair, we were also unintentionally thinning my own hair every time we cut them in, and so it was like shaving my hair every time I went to the hairdresser. And so it had just gotten really, really thin. I'm going to try a whole bunch of like hair vitamins and stuff like that. I'm currently taking some hair vitamins and using like hair growth shampoo, so we'll see how that goes. It's a big change getting used to how short my hair is now. Kind of why I have it in a ponytail today. I mean, I've been wanting to do a ponytail like this for the longest time. I just couldn't do it while I had extensions because they would stick out of like the sides. And like, this is what I'm loving the most, is being able to like have a slick ponytail and have no extensions pop out. Like, still kind of figuring out how to style short hair. Like, I don't really know what to do with it. I tried to curl it the other day and I just looked like a child. Honestly, you guys are probably going to see my extensions in my hair more often than not, especially on YouTube. On Instagram, I'll take photos with my hair as is, and like, because you guys are fucking loving short hair photos on Instagram. Like, I posted up a before and after with my extensions in and with my extensions out, and I was like short or long, and everyone's like short. Like, I swear like 2 people said long, and I was like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. I'm not ready to commit to short hair full time. Not last weekend, the weekend before, I was in Jervis Bay with Hamish because he was doing a little mini triathlon. So it was called like a try. Like, you could try a triathlon. And like, we booked that at like the start of the year. Totally forgot about it. until like the week or two before, and I was meant to do Max Institute, which is like a big beauty masterclass that my agency do in collaboration with Sephora. And they just do like all panels and masterclasses with makeup artists and stuff like that. And I was just going to be doing a Q&A. So Erin and I were meant to do it together, but Erin wasn't able to fly down and I wasn't able to go because Hamish had his triathlon on. So that was a shame, but I did just make the decision to go and support Hamish because I'm never going to pick work over family. That's just not like what I'm about. It was such a beautiful weekend down in Jervis Bay. We went to Hymes Beach, which I'll put a photo up of when we went there. It was so beautiful. I loved it so much. Hymes Beach is apparently the whitest sand in the world, which I did not think would be the case. I thought for some reason like Bora Bora or like Turks and Caicos or something like that would be like the whitest sand in the world. But apparently Hymes Beach has the whitest sand in the world, which is crazy. Just to know that like I live so close to there. Where I'm going to be living next year in Wollongong, I'll only be like an hour away from it, so I'll be able to go there all the time, which I'm so excited for because I love the beach. Day before we actually drove down to Jervis Bay, we went and looked at houses because we're actually moving. You guys know, if you've been watching me for a little while, we are moving to Wollongong very soon. So I live in Sydney at the moment. I live in Neutral Bay. I haven't really spoken about living in Neutral Bay on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, just for like privacy reasons, but I literally move in like a month. I'm out of here, so I just don't mind about saying it anymore. But Neutral Bay is beautiful. I've loved living here. It's on the north side of Sydney, so I'm like just over the Harbour Bridge, really close to Balmoral Beach and everything, and Mossman, and I've literally just like loved living here. I'm gonna miss it so much. But I'm really excited to move to Wollongong and live down there. So I don't think we're actually going to like get anywhere. I think what the plan is going to be is that we're going to be moving in with my parents, which is going to drive me crazy. I love my mum and dad. I'm actually like really excited to like see my puppies every day and live with my little sister again. Abby's obviously going to be there still, so that would be really nice. But yeah, I like my space. So I don't want to be there for too long, but mum and dad they want me to live there. They're excited for it. We looked at an apartment the other day. We looked at a couple, and the first one we looked at, we were like, oh my god, this is like the best. We thought it was so beautiful. I don't know, man. We applied for it. Fingers crossed that we get it. I really don't think we will. They just like called up today to like confirm some things, and they've just sent it off today to the landlord, and apparently the landlord lives overseas, so we should hear back hopefully tomorrow. I feel like we won't get it. I feel like it was like too good to be true, you know what I mean? Like, not that we don't deserve it, but it just doesn't feel like it's... I just wouldn't be surprised if we don't get it. When we were inspecting the property, the girl who was showing us through was saying that like the landlord is being like pretty particular with the people that like the kind of tenants that they want to get, because it is a pretty quiet block, and like they don't want like students or anything. Apparently they had like some students apply, and they declined their application because they're just looking for like quiet. So hopefully like we're good like contenders, you know what I mean? Because I work from home, like I'm pretty quiet. I don't just like run around the house screaming or anything. We're both not partiers. Hamish is going to be working full time. There was an older lady that went in and looked at it when we were looking at it. She was probably like 40s, 50s, and I was like, damn it, she's going to get it. She's like the perfect contender. She's not going to be having wild parties. She's probably like established in life. She probably has like a good job. Hamish isn't excited because he's like, we probably won't get it, because he's trying to be like, oh, like not get his hopes up. But I'm like, but if we do, we can put the lounge here. Like I'm the one that's like getting ahead of myself. I'm just imagining my life in there, and like the floor and like the windows. Oh my god, it's just perfect. It's just like a little home. Saturday, when we were going down to look at that apartment, we ended up just going to my mum's house the night before, like really late, probably like 11 or something we got there. So we didn't have to like get up super early and drive down from Sydney. And so Haim didn't have to do the drive there and back all in the one day within the space of like a few hours. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like burping while I'm talking. It's really gross. I was messaging mum saying that we're going to come down. She sent me a photo of Lily and she's like, she's had a long day. And I was like, oh my God, she looks like she's dead. Like, I'll insert the photos here because that was so funny. She literally looks like she'd had such a long day. And mum's like, yeah, she pretty much is. She had a big day after the fire. And I was like, the fire? Fire. I was like, wait, can I just call you? Because like I can't be messaging you about a fire. Like, this is intense. Apparently like they were at IKEA for the day, and IKEA's in Sydney, and so they were like getting a bed for the spare bedroom for when we move down and stuff, and just for like when people stay over in general, just so they've got a bed, because every time we go down we sleep on the lounge. Apparently mum and dad got home and there was firemen in the backyard, and they were like, like, why are there firemen in our backyard? And they came out and mum was like, what happened? Like, where are my dogs? My dog's okay. And the fire guy was just like, yeah, like we only saw one in the backyard. And mum was like, no, we have 2 dogs. The fireman never saw Lily. Like, she must have just been so scared that she was hiding. And apparently Gibson ran out to the gate, barked at the fireman like twice, and then he just ran off. Mum was like, wow, great guard dogs. The fireman then took mum down the alleyway and showed her the fence, and then showed her inside the yard. My parents' freaking yard caught on fire. It wasn't a big fire, but like, it's so lucky that like the neighbor saw it. Apparently the neighbor behind mum and dad saw the fire, and she called the fire brigade. They think like someone had just flicked a cigarette butt and it had caught the fence on fire. I think it was a bit windy that day, and there might have been some papers and things around, and there were some like cigarette butts in the alleyway, so I think people just must like smoke them and throw them or whatever. She sent me like photos of the fence. The whole back of the fence was like singed. I'll insert photos of what it looks like because I can't explain it, but basically a big section of the fence was like singed. And where mum and dad live, they live next to an alleyway, which I wish they didn't buy a house next to an alleyway, because people suck and there's always little feral teenagers walking down there and just being little fuckwits. Can you imagine if my dogs fucking died in a fire? Like, oh my God, I literally gave them so many cuddles after that. I was like, holy shit. My parents' home could have burnt down. We could have lost my dogs. Like, I was just, oh my God, I was so worried for them as well. And the fact that Lily was hiding the whole time just makes my heart drop. She must have been so scared, the poor little thing. I wonder what they were thinking as well. Like, what was going through their minds when this fire was happening? Like, they would have known it was bad. And Lily, I feel like I'm just talking like 100 miles a second right now, but I'm just like, I'm so alarmed. Like, I'm so triggered by this freaking fire. And Lily is literally like the most skittish dog ever. Like, you'd hold a pencil near her and she will run away. Like, she's scared of everything. She's literally just like the biggest chicken. She would have been so scared. So, oh my God, it just like hurts my heart to think that there was a fire near my dogs. The last thing I want to tell you guys is that I am going to Hamilton Island very soon, which I am so excited about. It's mine and Hamish's 10-year anniversary on the 27th of November. So I booked us a little like three night, 4-day trip to Hamilton Island, which is just a little island in the Whitsundays off the coast of Northern Australia, off the coast of Queensland. I don't know why I said Northern Australia. So excited. I've always wanted to go. I really wanted to go to Bali, but Hamish didn't want to go to Bali. He's only got a week off. And so I was trying to think of like a tropical location in Australia. Like, I was trying to think of like a little resort or something, and then I was like, the Whitsundays, the Great Barrier Reef. Like, I've never been there. I really want to go. So yeah, I booked that last minute, like literally like a few days ago, and we leave next week on the 20th. I might vlog it a little bit, I'm not too sure. I think I want to, because I really want to have the memories and be able to like watch the vlog back and like see how beautiful it was and everything. So yeah, I might vlog it, we'll just see. But I'll definitely be posting stuff on Instagram while I'm there. I'll take some photos and stuff like that. I can't even wait. It's gonna be the best ever. So I'll probably do a packing video of like what I'm going to take with me, just like bikinis wise and stuff like that, because I did get some new bikinis recently. If you guys would like to see like a pack with me kind of video, just like all the makeup I take, my toiletries and stuff, all my clothes, bikinis, shoes, accessories, all that sort of stuff, definitely let me know, because I feel like that could be a fun video to do, and I'm just trying to think of different things other than just makeup content. That is like my big life update. I've kind of just hit you guys with a bunch of facts, so much information, so much has been happening. Now that this video is out of the way, I feel like I can be more normal on camera. I just feel like I had to get all of this off before I could like kind of proceed with other videos. But Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys liked it, hope you could relate to it, and hope you guys just feel like a little bit more connected to me on a personal level. But I love you all so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Subscribe, like, check out my Instagram, it's just kaseyrayton, and I will catch you guys next time.